All right. Hey, everybody. I am Jeffrey Turnmire. I want to show you my favorite indicator, the roadmap line here. It's how I plot long-term setups with the market roadmap setup. And we'll go through what all that means, what it is, and even give you the code kind of here. And if it's okay with you, I'll give you an opportunity to come along, get that indicator, be able to put it on your own charts, join me, maybe get a watch list every week, all sorts of stuff. So let's get going here. I want to thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. And thank you, David, for having me as part of Timing Research here. Now, today, I want to talk about one of my favorite indicators for long-term trade setups. And really, it works on all time frames, just to kind of spill the beans. So it works for short-term, but here today, I'm going to show you the long-term trade setup right here. Long-term, I'm talking about like 2 months on average, about 42 trading days. I ran this back-tested just recently on 3,600 tickers going back to 1968. It was 57,000 trades. And the average trade lasted 42 trading days on those 57,000 trades right here with this setup. That's how powerful this is. And it won 74.7% of the time on those 57,000 trades. That's a pretty powerful setup. Now, this is an indicator I built and coded from scratch myself. I'll walk you through how I built it, why I built it, just kind of all the stuff here. When to use it, how to use it. We're going to go through it all. And then we'll go through the market and look at some of the popular stocks if you want to. I brought a list of stocks that have actionable entries potentially ready for tomorrow. And I'll show them to you and explain them all before we wrap up here. Now, some of the stocks that you're going to suggest, possibly, I'll give you some opportunity to do that. And then at the very end, I'll give you a quick chance to claim this thing for yourself. Does that sound like a plan? Great. Now, before we dive in, let me give you a mercifully short introduction about who I am and maybe why you might want to listen to me a little bit anyway. Yeah, maybe. Now, I'm definitely not a Wall Street veteran. I'm no former hedge fund anything. I've never worked for Chase. I've never worked for JP Morgan. I've never worked for any of those. I've never even been to New York City. Hate to say it. I went to Chicago one time. I got some deep dish pizza and then I went back home. That was it. That was just a short day trip. So I'm not your normal hedge fund kind of guy telling you how I've managed millions of dollars and all this stuff. No, I don't have any kind of insider connections or black box systems or anything like that. What I am, more than anything, is a lifelong tinkerer, engineer, and hard worker. All right. I started paper trading in the 3rd grade. I was drawn to this like a moth to a flame. I opened my first brokerage account when I was just 18 years old, legally able to open a real money account in the United States. I'm also a civil engineer by schooling, by trade. I work in a family business doing that on the side, kind of. Well, it used to be primary, but now it's on the side. I'm an urban farmer, do that on the side. I'm a builder, Eagle Scout. I'm a troop leader, a crypto miner, a beekeeper, amateur pilot, and probably a few dozen other things that just wouldn't fit on this slide here. And you see me with a beehive right there. Now, I just love to figure things out, especially figure things out in the market and accomplish things. Like I'm always tinkering, I'm always making. I mean, in fact, I have a bag full of pay dirt right here on my desk that I haven't panned out yet to find the gold in it. I mean, that's kind of who I am. I got Lego things sitting here. I mean, like a bulldozer right there. I mean, I'm always making, tinkering, especially in the markets. I've been obsessed with figuring out the markets my entire life, since 3rd grade, really. And if I'm being honest, the stock market's probably been one of the hardest nuts to crack. The most difficult hobby to have a ton of success in. Like it's really difficult. Every day, it's a different game, right? Feels like it anyway. Now, like I said, I don't have any Wall Street connections at all or epic trading mentors, just a few decades of trial and error, the persistence, the grind to keep going and figure this thing out. And then part of my journey, being an Eagle Scout, I want to help other people figure this out and not spend so much time grinding, right? I mean, who likes to grind? And to answer the question, why should you listen to me? It's just that. After a few decades of mostly struggling, I think I figured out a couple things that can be really, really valuable stuff if you just give me a chance. All right. Over the last few years, I've been blessed to make some incredible breakthroughs in the markets. Stuff that took me from mostly struggling to generating over $1 million in profits with my family's trading accounts This says in a year, but it was really in just 1 month. That month was March of 2020. Now, generating trades with over 300% net return last year while the markets were in kind of turmoil. We had some mega pullbacks and we had some mega rips along the way. I mean, that July to October pullback last year was rough, and we had one earlier in the year in March and April. I mean, that's all the winners and losers. Now, I developed an algorithmic opening bell alert with an 81% win rate, and I have a group of testers that have been killing it with that when it starts hitting. Some of the top trades, like 40% in 9 minutes, 65% in 7 minutes, 108% in 34 minutes, ridiculous, 475% in 35 minutes. That system kind of pumps stuff like that out. And I've even ventured into crypto, virtually predicting the exact top in 2021, the exact bottom in 2022, and helping many of my readers along the way, many of my friends, make a killing off of that bottom in 2022. It's been crazy, a wild ride. Now, I don't list all that stuff to brag or make you think I'm special in any way, but to show you I'm kind of the opposite, right? I give back. I try to help other people. I'm just a regular dude from Tennessee who failed enough times to learn some pretty amazing stuff in the markets. And the most important foundational lesson I learned was what I want to share with you here today, if that's okay with you. And I call it the market roadmap. All right. The foundation of all my strategies, pretty much fib tools. It's built into just about every charting platform that you might want to use. All right. Fibs are what makes sense to me. I'm not saying they work for everybody. I'm kind of an engineer, a mathematical kind of guy, and they work for me. And I'm going to show you some tricks with them here today. You can plug fibs right into your TradingView account. If you have one, it's a free thing. If you've never heard of TradingView before, TradingView.com, you can open a free account. You don't have to pay a single red penny to open a TradingView account. With the indicator code I'm going to show you here today, you don't have to spend a single penny to use my indicator either. Now, some Fibonacci settings and colors that I like to use. You're going to see some of these as I go through charts and stuff like that. Some key ratios for support. I like the 1.0, the 1.272, the 1.618. Those are great extensions I use. Sometimes a tool might be called a projection tool or a trend extension tool, something like that. Now, some key ratios for retraces. I like the 382. These are ratios, so you may see them as 38.2% retrace. The 50% retrace or 0.5. The 618, I really like that one. I use it a lot. And we'll see that one quite a bit in pink. So when you see that pink, that's a 618. When you see some greens, those are 1272s. When you see blues, that's usually the 5, the 50%, or the 76.8% retrace or extension. And then for key resistances, stuff we got to clear, the 618, again, in pink, purple, fuchsia, magenta, whatever you want to call it. And then once cleared, we see extensions and targets 1.0, 1.272, 1.618, 2618, 686. And those also can be found with a retrace tool. And I'll show you how to use those. All right. Now, projection tool, retrace tool, those are kind of vague and obscure, right? I like to call them the 2-point tool because it takes 2 clicks on the chart to get a 2-point tool with a Fibonacci retracement tool right there. In TradingView, it looks like this. And a 3-point tool that takes 3 clicks with that trend-based fib extension tool right there. 3-point tool. Those are the 2 tools I like to use. And other people ask me about all other fib tools all the time. I like these 2. They work for me. I predict epic price moves all the time with just these 2 tools right here. Now, some settings right there, probably a little hard to read. I'll make them bigger when we actually get to a chart. But there you go, right there. And there's the ones for the fib extension. So these are 2 different ones. This is a retracement. There's the extension. I know, a little hard to read, right? Now, some terms we're going to go through. That when I say the 2-point tool, it's on my little bar here, 2-point tool. When we have a high, like a swing high, that would be at the start point of a 2-point tool. The low right here, point number 2 of a 2-point tool. So when you say 2-point tool, you click here, 1, click here, 2, and it gives you the resistance at the 618 right there. Resistance. And then we have the 1272 up here at the top. That's the target. This is the basis of the pattern that I'm going to show you with the market roadmap. Now, we don't have the market roadmap. We don't have the roadmap line on here yet, but this is the fib tool that's the basis of how this works. All right. Now, if we're using the 3-point tool, you would try to compare other moves to the current move. So we might have a high, that would be the first point, a low, point number 2, and then you find a new high, point number 3, and then you compare that pullback to a prior pullback and see if you can find some support. That would be a 3-point tool. And you can compare previous pullbacks to the current pullback with this tool. You can also do previous extensions from a current pullback to see what kind of extension you might see. That's another common use for a 3-point tool. And we'll go through a few examples here today before we wrap up. Now, fibs help me identify entries, exits, stops, targets, all of those things, all the things you need to make a good trade right there. They're like a Swiss Army knife of trading indicators, all built into something that is in almost every trading platform out there, at least all the ones I commonly use. Now, we can make them even stronger by adding a few EMAs. Now, these are interesting. This is where it gets a little interesting here. Now, Fibonacci-based EMAs, if you don't know the Fibonacci sequence, it's a form sequence that starts with 0 and 1. You add those two numbers to get the next number in the sequence. So 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 5 is 8, 8 plus 13 is 21, 13, 21, 34. And I've highlighted some colors here. They're important. These are important. And the biggest one on here, the one, my favorite EMA on this whole list is the 144 EMA. Right there. Now, here's the code to my favorite indicator. I told you I'd give it to you right here. Now, I'm not going to cut and paste it or anything like that, but it's right here on the screen. If you want to take a screenshot, if you want to do something right here, it's on my YouTube channel. I'll give you the link for that too. JeffryTrader.com. And you got to spell my name right. It's Jeffry Trader without a second E, just one E, JeffryTrader.com/YouTube. All lowercase, it'd take you right to my YouTube channel. And this is the pinned video right on my channel. So you can get that right here. I have a video that shows you how to use this stuff. So if you can't copy it here, you can find it right there on YouTube. All right. So there's the code to my favorite indicator right there. Now, what's an EMA? Well, it's an exponential moving average, all right? This is a type of moving average that places greater weight and significance on the most recent data points. The exponential moving average is also referred to as kind of an exponentially weighted moving average because we weight the current price action more than we weight price action that happened a while ago. So like that 144 EMA that I really like, we're placing more significance on current prices than we are the prices that happened 144 candles ago. So like when people use the 200-day, it's like they talk about the 200-day moving average. That's all the same. Like you're weighting what happened 200 days ago the same as you weight what happened yesterday. Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I find that placing more significance on recent events helps me make better decisions in the market. So this is a definition right from Investopedia.com. Now, it places a greater weight and significance on the most recent data points. That's the key of what an EMA does, an exponential moving average. Now, why? Because price is the ultimate truth in the market, not news, not sentiments, not fundamentals, none of that stuff, right? It's all about price right there. Combining fibs and EMAs, I built what I call the market roadmap right here because it charts a course through the markets for me. Now, the market roadmap setup looks something like this when we add it to the chart. And if you looked at the code there for any length of time, you saw it uses the 144 and 169 EMAs right here. And I said the 144 was my favorite. And that's half of the component of this market roadmap, this orange line right here. Now, the keys to how it works. We need a break up through the orange line. And then price reaches some sort of exhaustion point up here. And then we retrace back into the roadmap line right here, point number 2. We retest the orange line, the roadmap line. Then number 3, we start moving away. And if you took like a 513 cross or maybe an 834 cross, EMA cross, you could take that aggressively, or you could wait for a more conservative break above the 618 level right up here. That's kind of what my new tool does. Now, targets, I like the 1272 right here. And my recent statistics find that if you use that 1272 as the target, you get your target 74% of the time if you wait for the break above the 618. You have to get a candle close above the 618. 74% of the time you get to that 1.272 level. That's a pretty powerful, repeatable thing, right? Now, you could also go for 1618s and 1272s and 272s and all the different targets up through there, climbing the fib ladder. All right, that's the power of the way this setup works when you get extensions. So we're really looking for this. This is the key to starting it all off, is that market roadmap bounce right there. And just recently, in the last couple months, I have automated this with tools that actually go out and find these in real time in the real markets. Now, when do I get out? Right? Everybody that's okay. When do I get in on market roadmap bounce? When do you get out? Well, first, when you're happy with the profit. Two, when you reach a target on your chart, like that 1272, the 1618. Three, if you feel like you're running low on time, like if you bought some options and you're like, oh, options only got a couple weeks left. Well, you probably ought to get out. All right. And if price closes below that orange line down here, you might want to get out. It's indicative that prices may continue lower. All right. Like if you got in up here and price continues down here, you may want to get out. All right. You got down the basics right here. Now you want to see it in action with some current setups ready to go today? Well, check this out right here. Give me a yes in the chat if you're feeling like you want to see some of these. You want to know the tickers that have set up. I just ran this scan just a minute ago. Yes, I see it already in the chat. All right. Here's the first one, ABT. You've got the high right here, high of the pattern, the low of the pattern. It broke right above, right here, closed above that 618 level. And there's the target right up there above 110. And I can go into the actual live chart here in a minute. These are snapshots out of my tool. My tool actually draws these charts from Python coding language. Right here, BTAL, second ticker. There's the high, there's the low. Here's the daily close right here today above the 618. That target up there above the high, up there above 20. That's pretty sweet, right? Now, next one, MANH, Mike Alpha November Hotel. Another one. There's the high right there. Here's the low right here. Broke above, closed above. That one not the lofty target, but it is up there above 260. That's another pretty nice upward potential move. NBR, November Bravo Romeo. There was the high. Just a real quick 3-day pullback right here. There's the high, there's the low. Today's close, and not a lot of room up to, looks like about 93 on the target right there. S-ARC, Sierra Alpha, Romeo Kilo. That high didn't really clear the roadmap line. Maybe less awesome, but the low down here, and that was a strong, look at that strong candle there. Another strong candle closed above the 618 level. Has the 1272 target up there, right there, just below 33. TMO, Tango, Mike, Oscar, that high right there, that low right there. And we closed above the 618 here today. Now, you might wonder, why wasn't an entry yesterday? Because the close, even though we spiked up and closed lower, the close was below the 618. This entry requires a candle close above the 618 level, and the target is up here. Right up there, looks like about 595 roughly, 594, 595. Next up, VHI, Victor Hotel India. That high right there, that low right there. We got the close right above the 618 right there. That target up there, just above 21. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. Now, I promised to give you a chance to add this to your own chart. So here it goes, right here. You can get the full indicator code for the market roadmap and plug it directly into your charts, whatever it might be, right here. But it's not just the code, right? I also have an easy button for TradingView or Thinkorswim. I don't have NinjaTrader. I saw that question come through, but I do have an easy button, and I give you the code and I tell you what all the numbers are if you really want it. Plus, I give you tons of education on how to use it, not just what I kind of quickly went through today. I'll welcome you to a private trade room. inside Discord with me so you can ask your questions, seek help if you need to. And every week, I'm going to send you a personally curated watch list of these tickers set up with this exact pattern on a daily chart. With all the stocks I'm thinking might be making a case for a strong market roadmap setup right here. Usually we list it for just $49. It's a pretty good deal. If that sounds like a good deal to hear, maybe for you, well, here's what you need to do. And I know inflation sucks, like it really sucks. So how about I cut you a better deal? How about I shave this down to just $5 right here? You can get that with jeffrytrader.com/MRMYT. That's Jeffrey Trader, JeffryTrader.com/MRMYT for Market Roadmap YouTube, because it's my YouTube special. Or you can call 321-888-3962, press the number 1, ask my team for the Market Roadmap special, $5 special, and you can get started with this baby today. You get the Discord channels, you get the indicator code, you get the watch list every week for 3 months. This gets you a 3-month deal right here. And part of the deal, we offer to give you another 12-month upgrade for like $20 more. So all of that for less than the normal price right there. I mean, it's a heck of a deal at $5. I don't think you can go to Starbucks and get coffee these days for less than $5. I mean, and it's a pretty powerful pattern. Now, if you want to see it on some live market charts, give me another yes in the chat right now, and I'll apply it to any ticker you want. As long as I can pull it up in TradingView, I'll pull it up and look at it right here. All right, maybe some tickers you want to request. All right, I see lots of yeses, so let's get to some charts, shall we? Shall we? Sound good? So here we go. And let's turn it on right there. There's my market roadmap. And look at this one right here. There's the high. There's the low. Ooh, got a close right there. Now, more recently, I've been finding I like this indicator or this fib level a lot better for a target. It's actually 90% of the way to the 1272. Now, anybody that tells you that fib lines are definitive hard lines is full of bularchy, all right? I find they're kind of zones because everybody can draw them. Every algorithm can draw them. And some algorithms add a little fluff to them, plus or minus 10%, all right? So I've found that the 1272 minus 10% of the way there tends to be a level that gets hit a lot more often than the actual 1272. So I've started using that as a more conservative exit target right here. CVE, that one's set up to potentially go up here and maybe doing another secondary bounce. But that target is active because we got that candle close right there above that. So this is the list for this week right here on the weekly list. Some stuff may work, some stuff may not. Like this one going down a little bit. UCO going down a little bit. Uber still holding support really well. Hadn't triggered an entry yet. UAL decided to go back to the bottom again. Right there. Don't have the fib line updated. That high, that low. Need to move up through that conservative entry right there. TECK still sitting there on the roadmap line. SoFi, little baby move. It actually pushed down just a little bit right there. Sundial, this one's interesting. That high, that low, sitting there under the entry right there. Riot, got a little baby pullback right here. That high, that low, hasn't triggered the entry yet. That'd be an extension up to 1350. RH, this one right here, this high, this low. I'll get to your tickers in just a second. This one, firing off the entry right here, PCG, a couple days back. 19 is the target right there. OKTA, there's the high, there's the low, kind of sitting here. Hasn't really activated above this 103 area. We're looking for 118 on the upside. MRK, there's the high, there's the low. Looking for a close up here above this 130 area to look for 136 up there. FXI, right here, we've got the high, got the low, and right there. All right. Does the indicator plot the high and low? No, you've got to do that manually. See, that's the thing. I've automated this, and those charts that I was showing there just a few minutes ago are all now automated in one of the new tools that I'm working on. This is a brand new tool. You guys just saw the first. You saw it. The only people that have seen this are my insider VIP group that I show things off to that are brand new and cool. I actually have only had this running today. I built this today, right here. So these charts are brand new out of my tool that I built today. So that's how new this stuff right here is. Just made that today. And it'll be getting improvements tomorrow. So, all right. Now, I know somebody asked about ES and NQ, and we'll hit some other ones here. So I see Dell. Let's check out Dell and see where we are. Dell is right down to the roadmap line. Look at that. That high, that low. It may go a little lower, which would pull the fib line down right here. Looking for that move up here to activate, and 188 for a target right there. And Microsoft, probably going to drop back to the roadmap line here. I do this kind of analysis every single morning, live on YouTube at 9:15 every morning. That's why YouTube's very important. I do a live stream every single day. Every single day. Even days the market's closed, I go through crypto and look for the same setup. Microsoft looks like it's going to drop back right to there. Tesla might drop back right to there. Kind of magic. Now, interestingly, on Tesla, we get a confluence of some support over here. I'll remove that. Look at that 50% right there. 50% retrace I talked about being a support level. The 618 comes in down here. But there's a key thing here. We don't really want to see this prior high overlapped. So we really want to see support hold right in here. If it starts overlapping, odds are we're getting continuation and the target becomes this down here. So does this work upside down? Yeah, you can project targets upside down or right side up right there. All right, NVIDIA probably coming down right there. Sooner or later. And NVIDIA looks a lot like what I call the bubble pattern, which if you've never seen before, things tend to go exponentially up, then they come down, they consolidate in a little choppy thing, and then they bring it back down. And NVIDIA may come back to the bottom of that consolidation right there. Just throwing that out there. All right. Yes. ES1, X reach points. So this one did something really interesting right here. And I've got to zoom this up to show you. Let's go down to, might look a little better on an hourly. Yeah. Look at this. We made this initial move down, came up right to the 1 hour roadmap line that just happened to be the 50% retrace of this first initial drop. Right here, I warned my members for several days to be cautious of this zone right there because we had consolidated right there on the way down. Cautious of this zone right here, and using the 3-point tool, the first move down, retraced off of here, we came up, and we might have a little further to go here, right to the 54.50 level. It's kind of like my cautionary line in the sand here. We may dip down a little bit further to wrap this baby up on this drop. Also, I kind of have a strong feeling we're going to fill that gap that we left from the contract rollover back there in June. Just a little bit left to go. We could do that overnight. We have GDP information, news and information in the morning. NQ, right here. Look, we've already kind of done all that stuff. This is kind of more indicative of a 5 down type thing. I'm sort of an Elliott wave Titian also. So that have a strong foundation in that stuff. If you've learned any of that this week. I know that many of my friends at ElliotWaveTrader.net and other places have been here this week so far. Look at that. Resistance at the roadmap line and continuation lower. Right down through some targets. Using that point right there, that point right there. Definitely got extended on this move down right here. Definitely extended. And we filled that gap plus a bunch of extra right there for that contract rollover on NQ. Now NQ may, this is scary when I start looking at this. NQ may come back to the daily roadmap line right here. We haven't been there since back here in October. All right. Gets kind of scary. All right. All right. Does the indicator plot highs and lows? No. Why do all the stocks need to drop to the roadmap line? Because it's a support resistance line. And why does it work that way? I'm not exactly sure. But I have a database full of trades that do this. And I actually have a 30-minute setup that I call Apollo that finds these setups active in the market. Like if we go look at the EQT or the PARA that fired off in the last 2 days. Go look at PARA on a 30-minute time frame. There's the bounce right there. That high, that low, fired off the entry, the target up here at 1205. All right, and then EQT was the other one. Oh, that one a little more sketchy right there because that looks like it's about to fail. Stocks, these tools are awesome, but sometimes if something's in a downtrend, it can trigger and we get continuation lower. So the lower the time frame, the less reliable the tickers are, the setups are. There we go. Any more tickers you're requesting? Anybody? Anybody? I mean, that's pretty quick. 30 minutes here. I got plenty more I can go through. WBA, Walgreen Boots Alliance. That's a bad chart. I have to say. That's a scary chart. Even on the daily. I mean, ooh, baby. That's a long way to go back up to the roadmap line. The last bounce was a negative bounce, and we're down at the 2.272. Finding support. Look at that. We bounced at the 1.272. We bounced at the 1.618, and we bounced at the 2.72. There might be something to this, right? Does it work with Forex? Absolutely. Now, there's 4 things that commonly maybe don't work as well. Low-priced equities, stuff under 10 bucks, maybe not as awesome, all right? Leverage stuff, like ultra leverage, stuff like TSLL, maybe not work so good, all right? But this did potentially find support right here today. I bought a couple 100 shares of this today because of this pattern right there. All right, so leverage stuff. It's number 2. Number 3, China stuff. Because China doesn't follow the same accounting practices as the US. And stuff like Luckin Coffee I got burned on before. Because they just, somebody's like, hey, their accounting is not the same and they have some sales anomalies. And then they get delisted. And then you get stuck in a trade. So China stuff. And then number 4, biotech stuff. Things that FDA is involved in. Like that's the Food and Drug Administration of the United States. Those things, a lot of them are dumpster fires, and they get announcements that sometimes make the stock do crazy stuff. So GE Aerospace, it's been a straight up freaking rocket ship here, and it's been pretty cool. Didn't hit the 4-hour. Did bounce down to the 1-hour here today. If it finds support, it could go on another run, possibly up to 178, but it hasn't hit the 4-hour. And it hadn't hit the 4-hour in back here since October. And it hadn't hit the daily since back here in December. Probably do a retrace right there. Just Stocks don't go up forever. This is a good place to look for support and resistance. TQQQ. Actually bought a little of that right at the close also, but it might go just a little deeper. Now, this is leverage stuff. The key, the tip, the hand of the tip, Ultra Pro in the name, that Ultra means leveraged. So be careful on leverage right there. May come back. Look, last time it was here. Why does it act support and resistance? I don't know. I don't care. I found something that does, and it works. It works really well. Look when it broke through there. Shot up all the way to the 272. Found some resistance, had a little trouble, and then it comes all the way back down. Just works sometimes. It works well for me. I use it a lot. Lily, that one's been up and up and up and up and up some more. It's been a long run here. I would be very concerned on a pullback because we haven't really pulled back since March of 23. That was like a year and a half, getting to be a year and a half ago. That one's up and up and up. Look at the 4 hour. We did a bounce right there. Could it go higher? Absolutely, it could go higher. Now, I have this cool tool right here that does a back test. 23 trades on the 4 hour chart. When this is broke through the 618, it's gone higher 69% of the time. Does it work on Forex? Yes. XOM. I just showed it on futures. XOM. Right there. Fired off an entry, retraced on a 4 hour. On the daily, fired off the entry, retrace. Set up for 125. I actually have alerts up there when we get there. And what time frame do I prefer? The time frame I can make money on. GC, look at this. 5-minute time frame. I got to remove a couple things. Clean it up just a little bit. We'll have to change this to one contract because my paper trade account won't have enough to buy 100 contracts of gold. Look at these entries back here. Watch this. When we turn on the back tester, 73%, 61 trades. Nice profit factor. Not too shabby. 9,000 profit, draw down 3,000 bucks. All using a 5-minute chart. We have entry, target, entry, target, entry, target. Beautiful. You may be like, how do you? That's the beauty of this tool right here, is the automated system right there. That high, that low. There's the target right there. Does it all for me. There's the high, there's the low. Entry, target right there. Pretty sweet. Finds these trades over and over. And over and over. That's the beauty of this roadmap line right here. I got all sorts of cool tools. I always make new tools for my members too. Siri, that's a low price one. Remember, stuff under 10 bucks. That's one of the categories, one of the 4 things. So I get a little leery on this, but it did set up a bounce right here on the daily. Target probably 418, maybe 429, possibly 458. If we get a little crazy, 542, 6, maybe on up here, 676, maybe 9 if it really got going. This is only a like less than 1% move. Less than 1% of stuff will go shooting straight up there without getting a pullback. This fib ladder, it's like stretching a rubber band. The higher you climb, the bigger the snapback's going to be. It takes a lot of energy to climb that fast, that far. So XNCR. It's not one I recognize, but. And that one's underneath. I would be careful. That can easily go lower. Right there, 17, 16. Could even make a lower low down here at 1550. Watch out for a break below that 618 and continuation down in this zone right there. All right. FETH. That one's not going to have enough to do anything with because that's brand new. Even if you went down to like a 5-minute, there's not enough candles to even draw my roadmap line. 1 minute, that's bearish. Get some continuation lower, and we're already at the target. Where does it reverse from here? Have to go to the Ethereum chart for that. Does it work on cryptos? Yeah, it works on cryptos. I use this on everything. It works on anything that has time and price. Ethereum on top, small time frame. Ethereum on a big time frame. Check it out. We're doing a big bounce right here. Nope, not monthly. Got to go down to weekly chart. Did the bounce on the weekly chart. Came up, we closed above. So this means Ethereum, highly likely to come up to that $5,400 target right there. How long? It might take out to 25, maybe 26. Next target up, 59. Target above that, 73. Pretty sweet, huh? Right there. If I was playing, the way I play Ethereum is ETHU. Right here. It's a 2x leverage. If you're going to hold FETH, you might as well hold ETHU. Get 2 times your bang for your buck. Now, if you're going to hold Ethereum itself, that's a different game. But I digress. AT&T. Back to the daily. Kind of played on this move right here. This bounce came up right to the targets and stopped. Why does it work? How does it work? I don't know. Like, it just works. Like we came up and right to the resistance and stopped. Now we could see 1950, but it's more likely we're going to get a retrace from here, right back down, find support back in this vicinity of the roadmap line. Then we can go on extension again. Kind of how this works over and over. Kind of weird when you see it. GNRC. Right there. Oh, that was going to be a 4-hour bounce, probably. Yep, 4-hour bounce. Right up to the target. And starting to retrace. Probably come back down again. Kind of wild. So, does it matter how the thick orange band is? Thicker or thinner? So what it's telling you, the thicker or thinner doesn't really matter for me. What it's telling you, though, is that price, since this is a 144 and 169 EMAs, price really hasn't been moving much when it's really thin and barely able to see it. And when it gets really thick, that means price has been moving a lot. Like that's kind of what you see here. Price was moving a lot. It got thicker. Then it's getting a little thinner. Price started consolidating a little bit. And then it started moving again. So it started getting wider right toward the end here. So that's really the only thickness, the thinnest. All right. You don't explain at all. Too bad. Yeah. Hey, I'm somebody that found something that works, and I'm just kind of telling you how it works. Why it works, I leave it up to the market. It's market math, really. And I don't know what you want to know. I mean, I gave you the code, showed you the code of the indicator. I can show it to you right here live. Oop, I just deleted it off the chart. Put it back on. Market roadmap right there. Put it back on. Click the code. Right there it is. There's the code. Now it's the 144 EMA, 169 EMA, and then the difference between them right there. That's the main juice right there. Hey, what I do in the market, I find trades. Like there's the big thing. Like, here's the big thing. Do you want to be an analyst? You want to go learn why things move? I'm going to trade Apple. I'm only going to trade Apple. I'm going to know where Apple's going next. You're an analyst. If you want to go look through the markets, find the highest probability setups and trade those setups, no matter the ticker, you're a trader that likes to make money. Think about it. So that's what I do. I go over the market. I don't care what the ticker is. I go find the ones that make money. Walmart. I made some good money on the last 2 bounces. right back here. This bounce went right to the target. And look right here. It bounced. I bought it right here, closed it out right here. You know what happened next? It gapped down on earnings right there. Holy moly. Went right back down. Gave us another opportunity. That high, this low, right here. Look at that. Kind of consolidated right at the resistance point. Kind of weird how this happens. Gave you an opportunity to get in for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. And then right up through the target. I got out again right there. Now, maybe I shouldn't have got out that time because it went on to go even higher. Now, when we went cruising, found some resistance at the 61618. Hung out there for, gosh, how many trading days was that? Almost 2 months, a little over 2 months, 48 trading days. That would have that grind. I have better places to put my money. I was already out down here. And then it went on even higher. So you could say, well, you missed out opportunity up here. Well, I argue I took my money and went and did other trades. Don't get stuck trading the same thing. If Walmart's not set up, go look for something else. Right there. Yeah, I actually have a link. If you buy the $5 market roadmap at the link that we had there a second ago, right here, roll down through right here, jeffrytrader.com/MRMYT. You go buy that. I have a link for Thinkorswim, TOS. That's right here. I said it somewhere right there. Yeah, TradingView or Thinkorswim. That's the two platforms I support. It seems like most of my traders are either using TradingView or Thinkorswim to chart. I know some people use Ninja and some people use all sorts of other things, Master Indicator and whatever. Motive Wave, whatever. I've got Motive Wave stuff too, but all right. Let's see. Apple 1 hour looks like set up for a bounce. Let's go look. APL right here. Do I use it? You might know. I use the market roadmap. Oh, I'm on my other chart here. Apple simplified. Keep it stupidly simple here. I actually had look, there was a big bounce right there. Target was 105 or 205, excuse me. On the 1 hour, got a little below. Maybe. We got to see it move back higher though. There's the high. There's the low. Got to see it move back through. And 240, possibly 242 on the upside. There's the resistance. And look, it just happened to consolidate right there before it topped. Came back. That's the resistance going higher. 240, 242. Right there. It's pretty amazing. All time frames. It's a powerful tool. I like using it on the daily because it usually finds big moves and it's real simple. You know, some of the ones I found, ABT. Some of the ones I brought with me. I've been looking for a bigger bounce there, but that daily bounce right there, fired off. 110 target right there. Make a couple bucks on that. Cash wrote, how is TOLL tall drawing all levels when you select high and low? How's the tool drawing all the levels? So here's the tools. I use this 2-point tool right here. It's fib retracement tool. 2-point tool. You click 2 points and it draws the fibs. This is in TradingView. It's in this menu right over here. I click a star by it and it makes this cool toolbar I can move around. Right here, the favorites toolbar. Click the star down here. Make your favorites toolbar. You make it disappear. Bring it back. So if you have cool tools that you like to favorite, so right there, 2-point tool and 3-point tool. And I have this trim. I've played with this trim-based time tool and it just doesn't work for me. I'm always trying to do new stuff, learn new stuff. I'm a tinker, I'm a maker. I'm trying to help other traders cut out all the grind it takes to find high probability stuff in the markets. These are drawing tools. I come on YouTube and I draw this stuff every single day. Every single day, 9:15 in the morning, Eastern time. Come join me, watch me do this. live every morning. Why do I go fast? Because I can. I practice this a lot. And so you want the settings, here they are. I use the fib retracement tool, the 2-point tool. I have it drawn with the trend line. I extend my lines to the right, so they go over to the right indefinitely, as you can see. It's just my preference. You can make it any way you want. I use the 50%, the 618, the 786, the 1.0. I color them blue, pink, blue, red, green, 1618, 1272 down here, the 2618, the 4236, 686, and last but not least, the 1.1448, which is 90% of the way to the 1272. And I also use prices. I show prices and levels and text. And I have this use it on the log scale turned on. Here's a little trick. If things are moving more than $50 in a move, and one big move moves more than $50, sometimes it can look best if you put your chart in log mode. Now, you won't be able to turn that checkbox on unless you have your chart in log mode, and that's a little L right here in the bottom right of TradingView. And then you can go back into the settings, and that checkbox becomes active down here at the bottom. Right down here. Oh, and it went away before my drawing tool came on. All right. 3-point tool. I didn't use it a lot. But a 3-point tool takes 1, 2, 3 clicks to come up with a chart, to come up with the numbers. And the settings for that, a little bit simpler. Trend-based trend line right there. Extend lines to the right, same. 1.0, 1272, 1618, 272. And there you go. And I have the fib box checked on that one too. All righty. Hey, Jacob Sharp's here, my man. Good to see you. Glad to see everybody tonight. All righty. There you go. Any more questions? Any more tickers? So what do I use the tools for? Let's just go in a little more education, shall we? Now, some common reversal patterns. I just have this chart up. So something's coming down, like we're getting in the market now, right now, right? Everything's going down. Now, if you get I don't usually buy here. I don't try to pick the bottom unless, for most stuff, you know, sometimes I have a good feeling where the bottom's going to be. Most stuff, I wait for this move, and then I wait for this move. A lot of times, that happens to be right where the roadmap line is. You might think I've drawn this before, right? Use your 2-point tool. 1 point, 2 point, and it comes in. And if you're really lucky, the roadmap line and the 618 are at the same exact spot right here. Right here. If that happens, it becomes my favorite pattern. And we activate the 3-point tool for the target. Instead of drawing from the high to the low and getting the target like I've showed you so many times, instead of doing this right here and only going for a small move up to here, when this little magic thing happens, and I don't usually share this with many people, when this magic happens where the 618 and the roadmap line come together on a reversal that looks just like this, you got to have all these things in place. Use the 3-point tool, that low, that high, that low, and then your target now becomes up here at the 1272. Those 3 points, that point 1, point 2, and point 3 right there. You can catch that move right up here, possibly up to here. That's the first, that's the second. If you're unlucky, it stops at this, but that's still higher than that level down here. I call that the rocket ship pattern. I didn't really plan on talking about that today, but that's a little bonus right there for those of you that came and hung out with me right to the end. All right. Any final questions or remarks? Do high and low have to on either side of the roadmap. Yeah, it works either way. Like you can go up or you can go down. And I kind of glossed over a little bit. There is more nuance to it. I have a masterclass. If you come join me, jeffreytrader.com/MRMYT. Make sure you spell it right here. Throw it back up. One more time, jeffreytrader.com/MRMYT. Make sure you spell Jeffrey right. If you're going to type it in, JEFFRY, trader.com/MRMYT. Call the team, 321-888-3962. Press the number 1. $5 special, hard to beat right there. And it's an easy, simple pattern right there. Cool, you already signed up. Welcome to the team. I hope to see you soon in Discord. And thanks, William. I appreciate it. Yeah, so what do you get for $5? You get the market roadmap. You get the indicator right there. You get the indicator code for TradingView. You get the indicator, an easy button to add it to the TradingView. You get an easy button to add it to Thinkorswim. You get a watch list every week with these tickers set up on a daily chart for 3 months. You get a class that I call Options 101, walk through. You get personal customer service team. They run a customer service live every single day. If you're having a little trouble getting anything going, getting it on your chart, whatever, you get a masterclass right here. And you get to come into my personal Discord right here. I have market roadmap channels, and I have free channels of content. You're welcome to come to YouTube every single day. That's all free, all included right here. I'm going to go have some dinner here in a minute. See you tomorrow on YouTube, George. Thanks for coming. Thanks, everybody, for coming. All right, David, I think we're going to wrap it up here, my man.